I'm Abby.
I'm Allie.
We're the Rannick Twins, and this is Oops, I
Arted. And today we're going to be talking about how Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday used by retail companies to sell chocolates and flowers to prove your affection to your loved one.
Yeah, I think that is what it is now, and when I went into the research of Valentine's Day as a holiday, that's what I thought. Who made this? It had to have been the florists alongside the candy makers that were like, we have to make a holiday that specifies in these two things. You have to prove your love.
So you're trying to tell me that Valentine's Day isn't a Hallmark holiday?
That is correct. So, upon research, I skimmed through a couple Encyclopedia Britannica articles and History.com, History Channel, and a little bit of Wikipedia. You gotta start somewhere, right?
Solid base facts.
So,
gotta build.
Yeah, I found a few different backgrounds for Valentine's Day, and we're gonna start at the very beginning. So,
okay.
Bear with me. First thing that I found, the first celebration around February 14th is a Roman holiday called Lupercalia, and it is celebrating Lupus, the wolf that fed Romulus and Remus, which I thought was really cool because,
we have that statue.
Yeah, we're from Rome.
It's not the best depiction of Romulus and Remus. It'll do.
So it was celebrating Lupus as well as Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture. This doesn't really sound like Valentine's Day today, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
It's about having a good harvest. I think it's about, setting, the tone for the upcoming year and the upcoming season. So you just got out of that dreadful winter, and now you're like, finally, things are growing back.
Yeah, it's like a rebirth.
Exactly. So Lupercalia, basically, the Roman priests would gather in a cave. Apparently, it's the one that Romulus and Remus were fed in.
Supposedly.
Yes.
If that indeed did happen.
So, they gathered in the cave, and they would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. And before you freak out, it was
a different time.
This was a ritual. They strongly believe in this working in their favor. So, they would skin the goat and cut its hide into strips and dip them into the sacrificial blood. So, where are you going with this?
This doesn't sound like Valentine's Day.
So first you get the goat, and then
you take the dog.
Usually two younger men would go through the streets and gently slap women and crop fields.
Gently slap. Those are choice words.
Yes. This was not unwelcome by women at all.
They knew this was going on.
Yes, they wanted this to happen so that they would have baby, be very fertile for the next season.
It applies to the women as well as the crops.
And I cannot imagine. They also wore the goat hide around as a loincloth, so they're mostly naked, and they're just running around town smacking fields and smacking women.
They smack the crops too.
Yeah, they smack the crop fields.
Okay, so it works two ways. Women and crops.
Yes. And after the ritual, they put all of the women's names in a large urn, and this was called the lottery. So I know a lot of people have read the short story The Lottery.
I can't remember who that's by.
Me neither, but it's about stoning a woman for population control. And I think you said something earlier when we were talking about how the lottery is kind of like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So it's not like either of those. It's like Match.com, but Roman era without a choice. Bachelors drew names out of the urn, and the man and woman would be matched. And by the end of the year, generally, they would get married. So that was Rome's matchmaking system.
Match.com.
This is Valentine's Day. Arranged marriages and sacrificial blood slapping.
Sounds like my kind of holiday.
So, why do Americans celebrate this holiday?
Yeah,
how did we go from Rome, blood, and crop fields to box chocolates and flowers? So, when I was researching, there's a lot of different martyrs named Valentine. We all know about how many Christian martyrs there are, right? Yes. So, there were a lot named Valentine.
I'm sure many of them can name.
So it is believed that martyrs may have taken this name from the original priest, Saint Valentine.
He's the OG.
Yes, who was martyred in 270 CE by Claudius to Gothicus. So,
what a name.
Yeah, right? Why don't we have names like that anymore? So, Claudius was a militant ruler. He didn't care about your feelings. He was stone cold.
He wanted a good military.
Yeah, so he intentionally kept his men away from their significant others for a long time, kept them away from home, basically would not let them see their family, and that naturally caused heartbreak and heartache and homesickness. So the men, their morale was low.
That doesn't make for a good army.
Exactly. You can't beat people up when you miss your kids. So I guess you can. Claudius was so fed up with this that he just banned marriage. He was like, no more.
You can do that back then. Different time.
You were the king.
No marriage.
Yeah, so he banned it, and St. Valentine was like, that is not cool.
You can't ban marriage because then you can't have a family. Yeah, that's not how it works.
So St. Valentine continued to marry young couples undercover, like speakeasy marriage situation.
He was eloping people.
Yeah, he got caught, naturally. You know, everybody's married, and Claudius is like, wait a second.
I've been bamboozled.
So Claudius found out, put him up for execution. He put him in prison and gave him an execution date, which just so happened to be February 14th.
How appropriate.
Right? Now things are coming together, right? It's starting to all tie together. We started a long way back. We're getting there. So we have a date, February 14th. So he was in jail, and the young couples that married him,
he married?
Yeah, I think that's proper. It sounds weird, though. So the young couples, even, I believe, some that weren't married, would come and pay their respects to Valentine in jail, passing him flowers and notes. Yeah, thank you letters.
Valentine.
Yeah, so that kind of where the showing gratitude, showing thanks for love, because he really was the guy that symbolized at least love in Christianity.
Yeah, and it's more than that. I mean, giving people a union, a bond.
Yeah, a lifelong bond. And
that's special.
I don't think I touched on this, but how did we get from Roman sacrificing to Christianity?
Yeah, there's a big gap there.
Can you guess? It's like a lot of the other holidays.
We adopted it into our religion so other people would like our religion better.
Yes. Precisely. Just like Christmas and Halloween,
pagan holidays.
The Christians decided that in order to recruit more people and get them to convert to Christianity, they would adopt several religions. I can't remember what paper document was signed stating this. I know there is one. I meant to write it down, but alas, I did not. So Valentine is in jail, and he falls in love with the jailer's daughter.
How appropriate.
Yeah, just a true love story. This is something out of Shakespeare for real.
Forbidden.
The forbidden romance with a due date. So he falls in love, and he gets executed on February 14th and gave her a love letter signed Your Valentine. Oh, so that's where Valentines come from, you know? Will you be my Valentine? Oh, I'm your Valentine. You know?
But that story just makes it so much cooler because I'm your Valentine forever.
Yes,
you know?
love your Valentine.
Super cute.
For eternity.
How did we get birds? How did we get cherubs with the bow and the arrow? And I'm going to shoot you in the butt and you're going to fall in love.
So, Cupid is, although he doesn't look like that,
Well, you're telling me he's not a tiny baby?
He is commonly depicted on Valentine's because he is the Roman god of love, which I think is really interesting because Lupercalia is a Roman
tradition.
Yeah, but it was not about Cupid at all. So it's kind of interesting how we got back to that. And the birds are from the Middle Ages, actually, in the time where logic was completely sound and fully based on religion. They believed that birds chose their mate on February 14th.
So you're gonna let me be your bird?
Will you be my bird? And then they, die of the plague. So I feel like Your Valentine is kind of still used, but I thought of, will you be my Romeo?
Yeah, it's kind of taken a new form lately.
And speaking of Shakespeare, it was also common during the Middle Ages to recite prose to somebody that you love in poetry.
So that might explain why we've got the little couplets on our Valentines that we used to give in grade school.
Exactly. And I was looking at actually a few vintage American Valentines from I think around the 1920s, and they all had rhyming words on them. It wasn't as simple as it is now.
I'm a sucker for poetry.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should look it up. Vintage Valentines are cool if you like art and good poetry. I'm not saying that Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue is not a total hit. And as far as hearts go on Valentine's Day cards, I don't know where the heart shape came from. I should have done some research on that, but that wasn't what this was about. This was proving to you that Valentine's Day is not a Hallmark holiday.
I will not believe it. I will not stand for this.
I think that now it has turned into a Hallmark holiday. I definitely think that commercial retail stores make bank off of box chocolates
and $50 stuffed animals. Alright, if you don't have anything else,
I have a piece of Valentine's Day trivia! So, this is one of the most interesting things that I found on Valentine's Day.
This is what you got. Alright,
my
hit me with
nugget. So, Valentine's Day is the most common wedding anniversary in the Philippines. And
it's so specific.
Thousands of people get married every year on Valentine's Day in the Philippines.
You only have one holiday to take care of instead of all 2 anniversaries.
Yeah, always remember that anniversary.
Alright, are you ready for these dumbest Hallmark holidays?
Yeah, let's hear some real Hallmark holidays.
Yeah. So the first one is Sweetest Day, and it is celebrated 3rd Saturday of October. It's like Thanksgiving.
Yes, I hate those kinds of holidays.
You never know when it's gonna be. So I don't even know what you do for this holiday. I think it's just a candy company's ploy. Be like, you are my sweetest. Here's some chocolate for my sweet.
I can buy
some
it. I can buy
for my
it.
sweet.
I can buy into it.
So the next one is Tax Day. They've somehow managed to turn Tax Day into a Hallmark holiday. They sell cards for that.
I have seen this on calendars.
Could you imagine getting a card? Sorry, your refund wasn't as much as you thought it would be.
Congrats, you did your taxes.
National Boss Day, which just sounds like, hey boss, you're the best boss ever. I hope you consider me for that supervisor position I've been begging for the past 3 months. Yeah, here's a Starbucks gift card. I know you live right near one.
Ooh, that's how you get it.
Alright, and this is what we're celebrating this year instead of Valentine's Day, because this holiday falls on Valentine's Day. You ready?
I am totally ready.
Ferris Wheel Day. That's right.
I love it.
It is the day that George Ferris was born, February 14th. And even though it's not fair season, it's Ferris Wheel Day. So throw your Valentine's Day plans out the window and drive to the nearest Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to go to Atlanta on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, there is one. Alright, so next week we're going to be covering hopefully a blues artist.
Yeah, in celebration of Black History Month, we would like to do not even a blues musician.
We have a couple things in mind. I think it's just going to be a coin toss on who wants to do which story first, because we've got a couple picked out.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a couple short stories or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, find us on Gmail if you would like to send us some requests or some feedback. You can email us at oopsiartedpod@gmail.com. Other than that, doing anything else?
Part of the Hayden Collins Intelligence Syndicate.
That's right. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see you next week.